Howdy, good neighbors. So, it's been a long time. It's been a couple weeks since we've done one of these. Maybe. But you've been on school for 2 weeks, so it's back at it. So it's been a long day for you. Tell us about your day today, Coby.
I didn't get to sleep until like probably 6:20, 6:30. I woke up at 7. So it's been rough.
Up all night doing schoolwork, eh? How does it feel? How does it feel to have
really
done
don't
that?
care.
I don't
care. The piece I wrote was actually incredible. It was absolutely the best coursework you'll ever read.
Right. You know what though? Like I've done that so many times, staying up all night to accomplish, like to finish an assignment or 2 or 3. And it never feels good doing it. It sucks crap. But at the same time, there's always this bit of satisfaction of having done it. I don't know. Doesn't mean I want to push things off so that you can get satisfied by staying up all night and not sleeping. I'm just saying, did it. And I think that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, so I did it. Then I had school. I went to your office. And I took a nap. Then I went to a music thing. A music meeting. Music podcast IRL. With some music mixers, masters, recorders, producers. Yeah. They just talked about some stuff. They got interviewed by some RTL lady.
I thought it was kind of interesting just to get to know the other side, you know, a little bit more about what happens, you know, from the production side a little bit more. I thought that was neat. It was nice to know that.
Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of it because I'm always watching videos and stuff on it.
Okay. It was new to me though.
Yeah, it was cool.
And you met?
Okay, so I've just been looking him up and I didn't find anything. But there's a guy who was on it, who's been a producer / mixer for like 50 years or something.
Yeah, he worked with the Kinks as an assistant, not as the producer.
But he told me that he recorded Marvin Gaye's last album and mixed it and all that. So I don't know if it's true because I looked it up and didn't find anything. But he sounded pretty convincing. So
he might have been on the team that did it though. Like it probably was a group of people. Like
it was
the head producer.
It was a record label, so he would have been on the team there.
Right.
And then so I got his number and I sent him some of my stuff. And then there's another guy who
you send him your stuff.
I'm going to.
You're going to, okay.
And there's another guy that does mostly mastering the songs. Got his stuff. And he's working with Jake, JVKE, who's got a bunch of pretty viral songs recently, like really big on TikTok and all that. So I got his stuff. I'll send him some stuff too, and then if they like it, which of course they will.
I think it's kind of neat also just to start meeting people, get some connections and stuff.
Well, yeah, but it just to expand. So if they like it and they, maybe they, I don't know, maybe it doesn't work out with them, but they can refer me to other people, and they said they would as well. That'd be really cool. How did you find the experience?
I really liked it. Just learning a little bit more about the industry and how the inner workings, I guess. I guess that wasn't of the industry, but it was of one component of the industry. And I thought it was also kind of neat because some of the things that they said were probably similar to the way I think about my own profession. Like when they're talking about sometimes you get a demo or you get a mix and there's not much to it, right? Sometimes you want to do this and you want to do that and you want to, do it, fiddle with things as much as possible to make it as best as you possibly can. But if you have enough experience, you start to recognize when you shouldn't do any more and when you don't need to do very much at all. And I thought that's kind of interesting because I see that with chiropractors, particularly the younger ones. Right? You want to help a patient. You want to do the best you can for them. You just want to help people, right? And oftentimes, a chiropractor, and I bet you a physiotherapist or an osteopath, could think the same way, in the sense of feeling like if I spend more time with this person, if I do more things with this person, if I can, then the more you do, the more you're helping them, and that's really, really, really not the case. The skill and the experience and the wisdom comes from knowing what to do and then when to stop. Right? And oftentimes you hear the phrase from the older guys, like professors in school, and they say, less is more. And I thought that it was interesting because that's a principle, and principles can be applied across multiple situations. And they were showing how that can be done in, when you're producing music and you're mastering music and things. It's the same idea. And one guy had a question about tools. It's like, what tool is best here and what tool is best there? And one of the things that the answer was, it's like, well, you should be able to do a good job with just the stock parts that you have. Right? And if you're relying on the tool, then your skill is not good enough. Right? Now, when your skill is good enough, you can also use a tool to make it better, but you have to know your trade. And the tool is a tool, right? But you have to have skill as well, right? So that combination of, you can't rely on just the tool. And I again, I think that can be applied to a lot of different skills in life or careers, principles, things like that. So I thought that was kind of neat as well. And then also, the other thing that stuck out from my mind too is like the ability to understand, I guess, that the final product of a song or of a piece, a musical piece, is how can you get across the most emotional experience for the listener? Because to some extent, that's the product. It's not necessarily just the song. It's the emotional experience. And I thought that was also kind of neat as well.
Yeah, of course. Of course, it's the emotional experience. That's how you like a song. Until you become connected to a song, is because it's something that you can emotionally relate to, and you can find meaning in it. And you're not going to find meaning in something that's just, you're not going to find meaning in white noise. Yeah. You're going to find meaning in something that evokes something that brings something out of you, that makes you relate certain things that this song makes you think about.
I think we talked about this a little bit the other day too, didn't we? It reminds me of, I think we were talking about literature in some way or another. I don't know if we were just having this conversation or if we were doing it on your podcast that you do, but one way or another we were talking about literature and how you can argue that a piece of literature has a certain meaning. And I've heard that from professors before, where they'll say, well, this was the intention of the author and therefore that's the correct answer. And I think we came sort of to the conclusion that, well, that does not necessarily apply once the author has published the material, because once they've published it, they're really delivering it as a piece of literature for other people to read and experience for themselves. And therefore, if they're experiencing themselves, it's going to potentially have different meanings to, you can have 100 different listeners, therefore 100 different readers, therefore 100 different interpretations. If you put out a
song and you want to force everybody to appreciate that song for the writer's experience and the writer's reasons for writing that song, it's not going to
sell because it's narcissistic.
It doesn't work like that. You like the song because it does something for you. It brings something out in you, even if you don't notice it. You like just the way the guitar is played or something. It's creating some sort of connection towards you. You like the lyrics, you like the way they're sung. It creates some sort of connection to you. But you can't force somebody to like something for the reasons that they like it, because it's just not how connections work.
I remember hearing, and I don't remember where I heard it. It might have actually been in Zen of the Art of Motorcycle Magnets. I want to say it came from there, but I might be wrong because I haven't read that book in 30 years. But it was something like, what makes good art? Or what is good art? And the answer is something like, whatever you like. Right? Sometimes maybe talking to a connoisseur of art who knows all the different techniques, and they can recognize all of this extraordinary skill. And I'm not trying to take anything away from skill. Kyla likes to draw, and I've tried to encourage her to take an art class to learn skills more. Therefore, you can express better what you're trying to convey in your piece of art. But ultimately, it's, to me, art is what I like. And sometimes I think artists can do a phenomenal job of their art simply by bringing to light, making something noticeable to the listener or the viewer, bringing something to light that might be an everyday type of thing, but you capture it in a slightly different angle or different lighting, or frame it differently so that it's noticed in a different way that has more meaning or a different meaning to it.
Well, yeah, you can't just have an experience and then explain that experience word for word.
Right.
You have to make it somewhat broad in your delivery, I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lyric, and I'm forgetting if it's Tim McGraw actually, or if it's Pearl Jam. It's kind of a different big difference there, but it's something about rusted signs, and I can't remember the lyric, but it's displaying the meaning of rusted signs that have been there for a long time, and it's sort of, Now sometimes and you do this a lot too with your lyrics, where it's just a slight little play on words that make you think something totally different about something that you see a lot. But now, because it's been displayed in a different manner, it has a different meaning to it, and a greater meaning to it. And I guess that's kind of what's really interesting about a good artist, whether that's music or a painting or literature. It's that expressing things for people and bringing out emotions in people that they didn't know how to explain themselves. And you hit it with that chord, you hit it with that lyric, with that, right? You struck a chord in the heart, so to speak. Yeah. And in some of the songs that you've written, some of the songs, again, where I've told you, it's like, that feels like you just grabbed my heart. Because it's neat. It's words that we all know, but when you put them in this order, it creates a different value.
It's funny, huh?
It's funny.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
I mean, we're constantly doing it. We're taking words that exist and
when you think about it, look, we got 26 letters in the alphabet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And out of those 26 letters, we evoke emotion. We try to describe the universe in all of its inner workings, from mathematics to quantum mechanics to biology and feelings. It's crazy. Out of 26 letters.
So much variation. But I mean, you look at a Rubik's Cube and the amount of possible differences there could be on it is like 5 quadrillion or something, or like quintillion or something, just from that small little Rubik's Cube. So likely, if you mix up your Rubik's Cube, the pattern of colors that you have on there, it's probably never been seen before. Probably.
Maybe.
That number might be completely off. But.
What's that? There's something about like an unlimited number of monkeys and an unlimited number of typewriters. One of them is bound to make up a Shakespeare play.
Yeah.
Do you believe that? I don't think so. I actually don't think so. I don't think that randomness could account for that, because I think it's lacking that emotion, which I don't think you can just find randomly.
So you have endless time, you don't like understand how much that means.
So does that mean that you think that one day a monkey could come up with a Shakespeare play? Just randomly?
I think if you just tap on random keys after, I don't know, imagine, I think it's possible.
Yeah? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that there's something deeper to the spirit of humanity that cannot be accounted for by randomness.
I think you're right. And I think I was wrong.
Oh.
Thank you, Dad.
It's very big of you.
Shouldn't do that, you know.
Everybody does it all the time.
Yeah, but people just died recently that were doing that in Luxembourg.
Yeah, but that's still so they're speeding and everything. I went out slowly and I looked, made sure I didn't see anything before I went. That made me think of something I wanted to say, and I can't remember what it was now. I lost it. There was something about. I don't have a clue. So, do you think you're going to send any of the music you've already recorded, or to any of these couple guys, or do you think you want to re-record something before you send it? Like, I don't know if you have versions of things that you're extremely happy with or not. I don't know that I've ever actually asked you that question.
No, I don't have anything that I'm extremely happy with.
No?
I have songs that I like that I've written with me playing an acoustic guitar and singing. But that's not the song. That's the raw version of it, but this song will be so much more. But I don't have any of that yet because I haven't really. I haven't done it with. I have to do that in a studio or with other people.
Do you think it needs to be done there before you could then? I mean, the one guy was talking about recording. What was it? Is that teacher of yours, Ben? He's talking about recording a demo in like one of those places, production studios kind of thing. Do you think you want to go to that level before you send it, or do you think you might be happy with an iPhone and a microphone?
I don't know.
It's hard to say. I mean, maybe you could start with that just to send it out and say, all right, where are we at here? And get some advice first on what to do next.
I think I just need to work on getting viral videos, like on TikTok and those kind of platforms.
Well, Wednesday night, Conrad's. Do you know what songs you're gonna play? Thought about that yet? What's it gonna be?
Probably The Person You Laugh at the Hardest and My Poppy Weeps. Maybe.
In my head, I don't hear the first song. I mean, I'm sure I've heard it. I'm sure I know it. I just...
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night? I'll find out Wednesday. But you've already played it for me though, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
Yeah, Poppy Weeps. I love that one. Make sure you do a good intro for that one so they know.
The whole reason that song exists is completely you. Because I was sitting in my room and I wanted to write a song. And I was like, and it was around Remembrance Day, you know?
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, what should I write a song about? And he said, Poppy. About, like something, you just said like write a song about Poppy. You said Poppy or something. It included Poppy, and I was like, okay. And I think as soon as I sat down, it was just like, my Poppy weeps, or like whatever, my Poppy. Like the first line just came to me like that. But that usually is how it happens a lot like that. The first line just kind of comes.
Like the first line of a song, or first line of a chorus, or either one. Like does it happen?
You know what? I don't know.
That's also kind of interesting because I've heard a lot of great artists oftentimes can't say where the idea came from. It's oftentimes they feel like they're just like it's transcendent.
With it from God.
It's like a gift. Yeah.
Michael Jackson said that.
Did you haven't watched yet that okay. Well, what I'm talking about is this Netflix show called, I think it's called The Greatest Night of Pop. It's a documentary that's out on the making of the song We Are the World. And now I thought that was really, really neat. I liked that. Also probably because it was fairly nostalgic to see all of these singers that I had grown up listening to back from the 80s. So that was kind of neat. It was also kind of neat to see, I think one of the singers that stood out to the most to me was Bob Dylan. And I think because he felt so uncomfortable being there and he just could not sing quality-wise, like skill-wise, like the other people were. But what makes Bob Dylan is his lyrics, right? And his style of singing as well, even if he's not a great quality of singer.
Match his voice anyways.
Exactly.
Because you write for your own voice.
He's an icon. He's a legend. He's amazing. But yeah, I mean, he's never singing in an opera. But it was that he stuck it out. I like that he stuck it out the whole night, and he stayed the whole time, even though he felt uncomfortable, and he did it anyway. And I also thought it was really cool that everybody was signing getting each other's autographs. But we're home now, so we'll see you tomorrow.